Hi, hello, welcome, you, viewer, the many viewers enjoying this stream that we're about to get started with right now. You know, they say in broadcast you're supposed to talk to the audience as though it's one person. And it does look as though right now at the beginning of this stream that it is, in fact, just one person. But that does not mean that we are not going to have a good time tonight. My name is Lars Castine. Thanks for joining me tonight. You are about to enjoy another Tabletop Gold video game live stream. We should probably come up with a better, branded name for what it is that we're doing, but that's what I'm going to call it for now. If there's any issue with the stream, let me know. I'm looking at chat, I'm playing the game, I'm running the stream, I'm producing the whole thing all at the same time. There's a lot going on right now, and I'm looking forward to it tonight. My name is Lars, like I said before. If you don't know me, I am the host and GM of a podcast called a tabletop role-playing game actual play podcast called Tabletop Gold. We play Pathfinder 2nd Edition on our podcast, which comes out every Monday. And you know what? I'm also streaming video games now. We tend to play tabletop role-playing game inspired video games. Over the last month, we have played... What have we played? We've played Wildermyth. We've played Inscription, one of them styled on a role-playing game, one of them styled on a card game. And tonight, we are going to continue that trajectory by playing a game called Citizen Sleeper. This is a game that I have not played myself. If I seem a little spaced out right now, it's because I have the music for this main menu for this game playing as I am chatting with you, and it is incredibly evocative and transportive. I feel as though I myself am a Citizen Sleeper. Don't even know really what that is. Here's what I can tell you about Citizen Sleeper. The developer of this game is called Jump Over the Age, and it is published by Fellow Traveler Games, an independent publisher that sort of specializes in narrative-themed, but still mechanically nuanced games. This is the first game published by them that I have played. I'm very excited to check it out. I don't know much about this game. Here's what I can tell you. It is a science fiction, narrative-driven, text-heavy game with an emphasis on dice rolling and maybe forking narrative paths. I don't really know. I think that the kind of science fiction that we're going to be delving into tonight is in the Ghost in the Shell style. Am I a human or a machine post-humanism kind of thing? Do you get what I'm saying? Judging from this music, which I'm about to start playing for you, this is going to be a pretty spacey kind of vibe, I think. Let me transition this thing and give you a taste of what it is I'm talking about. You know what? This music loops. I'm gonna keep just yammering on until the loop hits, so that you can get the fully featured. You can get the full taste of what this music is doing. And until then, I'm just gonna sit here and think about things. Okay, here we go. So check this shit out, man. Listen to this. First off, look at this. Look at this menu screen that we're talking about right now. Okay. If this is too loud, let me know. It could be. Do you hear how contemplative and gorgeous this is? I'm so in for sort of science fiction-y thinking about thinking sort of stuff, and I'm so pumped to see where this game goes. I hope I enjoy it. I know that it's text heavy. I don't know if it's voiceover heavy, so there's a strong chance that I may be doing a number of stupid voices as we go through this. But I'm going to click to start. I'm going to click new game, and let's start a game right there. Choose character class. Already in the TTRPG zone, to be sure. We got Operator. We're just going to look at the names first. Operator. Extractor. Okay. Seems like those are... Okay. And Machinist. So we got three choices. Operator, I'm guessing, is our good first playthrough sort of deal. According to this, an operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Already getting into a little bit of the fiction here. What is a sleeper? I imagine we'll find out. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. So getting a little more physical here. And then machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. So what do we want to do? Do we want to be diligent, careful, and structured? Do we want to be cerebral and precise? Or do we want to be confident, self-sufficient, with a high level of endurance? It's a good question. While we ask ourselves this question, I'm going to enjoy a drink of this Noah's Mill bourbon. Very nice. What do you say let's go straight down the middle. We're going to do operator. That's the first thing that they started us with. We had three character classes. One was to the left of operator, and one was to the right of operator. Given that I don't know what it is that I'm getting into, I sort of feel as though doing the thing that is most the way the game was meant to be played sort of class is ultimately what I want. Let's do it. Oh, this music. Can you believe it? That was just a transitional... That was a sting we just heard? Hard to believe, but it's true. Okay. I'm going to test this thing out. Sounds okay. Where are you? Unknown. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. This music might be a little bit hot. Let me dip the music a little bit. I feel like this music is sumptuous enough that it'll poke through even if I am not blasting it through the stream. If you want to hear a little more gameplay, though, let me know. I have these two things I can click. One says items, one says data. I have 0 cryo, which is my cryptocurrency. I've always wanted to be a crypto guy, so that's perfect. It's at its worst when waking, when your self has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputable yours. So we're talking about interfaces right now. There's a gap between what somebody using an interface wants to do and what they're accomplishing with the interface. So what do we want to do? Do we want to think of that body or forget that body? I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to click stuff. Let's think of the body. Let's be cerebral. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. So we are now a brain without a body. The dream. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Let's remember the others as we are feeling abject pain. You remember there were 10 of you. 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled, day by day, until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. I'm feeling a Blade Runner influence happening right now. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock, even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. So you're doing some sort of like extractive, like mining kind of deal, are we thinking? I'm gonna test the chat for a second. It works. Great. So we don't want to wait for the cold or try to rest. Let's try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. And keep dipping this music. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. So we're sort of like facing eternity as a weird AI transferred mind inside of some sort of computer deep in space, after an accident in some extractive industrial concern. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. So I feel like there's maybe kind of something happening here where it's like this game is about being removed from the action of the situation, being just like a mind in a place that is physically real. And so like the interface that I'm engaging with here as like a player of this game is removed. Like just having this text on screen is sort of similar to me just having a running internal monologue as I'm aware of something happening within the world that I just have access to via this screen. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's rest. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. We got graphics, y'all. You ever heard of graphics? Looking at this picture of a spaceship, I have one button I can click. As I hover over it, it has an animation. A nice yellow sort of wiping gradient kind of animation. I should probably click the button. You think I should click the button? Let's do it. So here's Dragos, or Dragos, a pragmatic and private salvager. This art style is very nice. Reminds me of maybe like a cross between a Moebius and a late 80s sort of manga sort of deal. Like what's his name? Akira guy? Otomo? Is that sort of what we're doing here? It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So we are in fully industrialized space sci-fi is what we're doing. So, Sleeper, you all thawed yet? I'll say almost.
Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside-outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky.
Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches. That's this guy right here. Its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Ah, and I myself am a machine. I am like Dragos and like his drone, combined into one.
Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long.
You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. I'll say what happened to them. He ignores your question.
I won't ask what led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you're just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property.
Well, Dragos, cheers to you for giving me some exposition to figure out what the hell is going on in this game. Thanks. I deeply appreciate that. So we're a person who's trapped in a, capitalist hellscape, and there seem to be two choices for humanity. One, be a total weirdo like Dragos, hanging out with, a weird camera pet, or I can sell myself to the company and give up my body forever and just be like a weird piece of software that nobody respects. Sort of not too dissimilar from our current situation, right? You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper's cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy.
What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S and ARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep a hold of you, well then no one can.
You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have?
But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones.
Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard.
The eye is the best place you could be right now.
The eye?
The station. Yeah, you'll see soon enough.
Dragos impatiently shifts his weight.
Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it.
Something wells up inside you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet.
All right, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest.
And with that, Dragos stalks back into the Rex, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes, silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. I feel like we've already got kind of like a little bit of warmth and a little bit of humanity in this game. The fact that this guy didn't kill me and take my body if he's a salvager, like he's ready for, he's willing to let me do a thing, says that there's like a respect for humanity in this world. This is not a fully dystopian setting, if you know what I mean. Let's continue. Oh, hi, it's a tutorial. So we got cycles. At the end of each cycle, I have to return home. So there's kind of like rounds. I have probably a certain number of actions I can spend per round. And we're going to end the cycle now by heading to the empty container. That's where I live. That's my home. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? I guess I want answers. It all matters. The past is impossible to escape if it remains a blur. What Essen Arp did to you cannot be forgotten. You need a way of understanding all this before you can move on. So the industrial accident that it seems as though we are investigating was in fact like corporate malfeasance, right? Essen Arp feels very Wayland-Yutani, right? A nice like hyphenated, like heavy industries company. I love it. Let's click the continue button. Where are you? What is this place? What happened to the others? The questions outnumber the answers. Well, that makes sense. That tends to be the way that conflict goes when you still have questions. You want to change that, but you'll have to learn to survive first. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container: the mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets? How do we feel that word is pronounced? Sachet? Sachet. Yes, thank you. According to Google, that's how you say that word, sachet. Let's look up what that word means. It's a small perfumed bag used to scent clothes? What? Oh, it's like okay. I got little bags of powder, is what it is. You could have said bags. Game, you could have said bags. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. I got some... Okay, look at that. That's a tutorial. Y'all see what I'm seeing? Okay, so condition... I got... It's like a hit point bar. If my condition bar empties, I'll suffer breakdown. And they're not going to tell me how to boost my condition. Action dice. Start of each cycle, I roll dice. The number of dice that I can roll is based on my current condition. When I run out of dice, I have to end the cycle. Energy. We have to eat, but we don't have food anywhere. Each cycle, my energy depletes by 2. If it becomes empty, I'm starving. When I'm starving, I start losing condition instead. So I do not want to run out of energy. So finding food seems very important. All right. So what do you think? Should I roll some dice? What am I doing? What's happening? What's going on? What am I looking at? Do any of these buttons do anything? What do? I click leave. Dragos is stood in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cachet of sensor eyes rapidly irising. Second use of iris as a verb. Way to go, Citizen Sleeper. How are you feeling? I feel fine. The drone chirps. Good to hear. Good to hear. What do we think this drone sounds like? Good to hear. I think it's a happy drone. It's chirping. Good to hear. Good. Okay, whatever. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure. All right then. He nods.
At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure, as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor, and obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up.
Got it.
He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Happy to.
Don't care. Don't care about your problems, Dragos. I got my own issues.
Okay.
He pauses, thinking of something else to add.
Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do.
Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him.
See you later,
he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. All right. So what do I do with these dice? What am I doing? What's happening? There's probably like some... Okay, I'm using mouse wheel to scroll up and down. If I use WASD, also does some stuff. Okay, cool. So I can essentially go to Dragos' yard. I don't know what that icon means with the spinning red circle. I can go to the low-end gate. I feel like I only really need to go to Dragos' yard if I have something I can sell him, so I'm not too concerned about doing that. So let's go to the low-end gate. I have to pay the low-end the low-end toll. So we're gated here. It's a literal gameplay gate. I have to put 60 cryo in here. I can't do that. All right, I guess I'll go to Dragos' yard. Oh boy, more tutorials. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Right. And this is where my stats come into play. I see. So there are 3 kinds of outcome. There's positive, neutral, and negative. That makes sense. And I'm rolling d6s. A 6, 100% positive. 5, 50-50. 3s and 4s are in the middle. 25 positive, 50 neutral, 25 negative. And 1s and 2s, 50 neutral, 50 negative. Okay. So there are repeatable actions. They're both repeatable actions. Okay. I don't know what just changed there. Okay, I see. So there's type, risk level, and skill and modifiers. Actions will say type, repeatable action. Critical can only be performed once. Repeatable is going to be like gathering resources, and critical is going to be like story gated, like paying off something for once kind of thing. Safe, risky, or danger in terms of risk. Very like Blades in the Dark feeling, kind of, right? Potentially. Skill, that tells me which skill I have. I forget what the names of my 3 skills are. I do know that as an operator, I'm better at some of them and worse at others. I'm not great at Endure, I believe. So Engineer, Interface, Endure, Intuit, or Engage are my skills. And then I have my modifier, which is my skill modifier. So my modifier can either be a -1, a 0, 1, or 2. It's added to the action dice and slotted and improves its value. So I can put down like a 4 and turn it into a 5, theoretically. And then some things require like training, like in Pathfinder 2, if you can only like find a trap if you are like expert or master in perception or whatever. So I want to assign these dice. So I can do hull dissection. That'll help me find things that I can sell to Dragos. I'd love to see my stats. Got anything for me, game? Any suggestion of what my stats are? Am I good at enduring? Is there a menu? Does this game have a menu in it? Ah, hello. Okay, cool. This is quite a bare bones menu page. I don't know. What do you want? You want the music? Okay, great. Great. So I've got these actions. I don't know exactly what these two things down here are. I guess we will discover that together. I'm better at manual salvage because I have higher endure, I guess. So let's input that 4 in here to get a 50% positive, 50% neutral. And that's one of my 4 actions for the cycle. Actions often progress clocks, so that's what that is. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them. So both of these two actions will put the back in business clock forward. Okay, and this cycle clock, this adet called in, each time I run out of actions and have to rest, then Dragos is going to deal with his problems. So I'm sort of being given story here, realizing that Dragos has a debt to like a loan shark, and I'm learning that through like the game interface rather than through like a NPC interaction. That's weird, but interesting. Okay, cool. Let's go. So we did that. This risky thing, I guess I'll use my other good die. I'm looking at 25 pos, 50 neutral, 25 negative. Let's see what a negative action is, or a negative outcome is. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. There's an arrow button here. Is that what that is? Oh no, I'm still in a tutorial menu. I'm now free to explore Erlin's Eye. Of course, I knew that. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up. And so this is just saying, like, good luck, idiot. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. Okay, great. Thanks. So I guess that was a good outcome, huh? So I've got my drive here. So I want to... Interesting. I want to survive, and I want to repay Dragos. How do I do that? Dragos pulls you out of salvage and set you up. Perhaps you can repay his kindness in time. So I imagine I can do that by helping him out with his debt. Alright. So I've got these 2 remaining... should I go somewhere else? Can I leave this area? Leave, yes. Is there anything else here that I want to take a look at? There is. There's the shipyard. There's Dock C4. There's Dock B2. There's the Bright Market, and then there's this gate. Wow. They throw you right in here. If anyone has any ideas about what I should do, or just questions about what's at any of these locations, please let me know. I'm intrigued and unnerved by this atmosphere that this game is choosing to throw at me. So, we're being told via this icon that there's a cycle deal here. A cycle clock. So what I'm learning here is that there is a... merchants are going to show up here eventually, but there are no actions to do there. Salvage sortie. So eventually, it takes several cycles to reach this. So somebody's going to be here with salvage soon. There's going to be like an injection of resources into this economy. There's the Bright Market. Am I going to meet another NPC here? So I could attempt to do the dangerous thing of asking for directions. I could attempt to do the risky thing of exploring the market. I don't like the dice that I have for that. I have 2 like crumb-ass dice, right? Okay, Kairu, I'm gonna give you the information. First off, will you let me know if this music is too loud? I'm having a little bit of trouble like monitoring my mix here. So here's the deal, Kairu. I just woke up. I'm an artificial intelligence trapped inside of a robot man, and I just woke up thanks to the kindness of this dude Dragos, who has this yard here. What I know about Dragos is that he wants to be back in business and that he's going to get his legs broken or whatever by some loan sharks or whatever. Each of these little nodes on this linear map are locations. I've been sort of exploring the locations. And at the top of my screen, I have these 4 action dice that every time I take... Okay, cool. Glad the music is good. Every time I take an action, I deplete one of these action dice. And when I end my cycle, i.e. go back to sleep, there are various environmental clocks that tick forward and move us closer to the story being, moving along and having some outcome for my bullshit. So I need to act efficiently. I need to use these dice to, most efficiently improve my chances of survival, and so on and so forth. The 2 things that I want to do right now are repay Dragos for helping me out and find a doctor. There's another resource that I have called energy, which is this line down here. Each time a cycle ends, my energy ticks down, and once my energy runs out, then I start to die, and my health bar, which is this thing up here, this orange guy, starts to tick down. So they're putting a lot of the survival game mechanics on this. I have to manage a lot of different resources to maintain myself as I'm trying to act efficiently to advance this story before a negative outcome happens. They're stressing me all the way out, though. This is my character sheet. It's crazy. I'm good at endure. I'm bad at intuit. And I have 1 upgrade point. Should I use an upgrade point? Probably. I have 2. Oh, these take 2 upgrade points. Do I have an upgrade point? No, I don't. I have nothing. That's why it says 0 upgrade points up there. Great move, Lars. Way to read. I don't love taking this dangerous action with one of my 1s, so I'm going to take some safe actions with Dragos's deal and see if I can make some progress on that. So if I drag a 1 down here, I have a 50% neutral, 50% negative, but this is safe. And I'm good at enduring, so I boost it from 1 to a 2, which doesn't matter because 1s and 2s are the same. So let's try this. Negative outcome, but I get plus 5 cryo. And let's do this again. It is sort of stressful. I'm a little stressed out. Neutral outcome, so we advance this back in business clock, and I get some more cryo. So, how much cryo do I have? Is that on my character sheet? Don't know. It doesn't seem to be. Is that on this thing? No. So I'm just going to head back to sleep. I'm going to end the cycle. Oh, I have a repeatable... So I can gather energy through sunlight. Okay, that's good to know. It's probably something I should have done. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. I'm going to observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you can see and feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. So I have one fewer action now because I'm starving. But I do have a 6, which I can use to take this dangerous action with my best skill roll. So I can have a 100% positive outcome for this dangerous action I can take. Positive outcome. I got +++ local knowledge. So I filled up that clock. And it means that I don't need to explore the market. The Bright Market is the busiest part of the Eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. Okay. What did that get me? What? That just gave me some flavor text? What do I do? Okay, goodbye. Ah, I got a new drive. Let's check out those drives, baby. I can build a ship mine. I've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ord Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mine core. That gets me access to the Ort fabricator. I've got this street vendor here. I can use that to buy some fucking food. Stop starving to death. Hey, here's Emphas. Emphas looks cool. He's got like a scar and a cool glove thing over here. This guy rocks. Emphas is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red-flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. I'm going to approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the Eye, the best drink, comparing notes on Bright Market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn and you shuffle to the front. Emphas speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Emphas says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the Eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container, the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you. Then you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually, you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. All right. I got a new drive. So now I want to build a ship mind, get to know Emphis, repay Dragos, and survive. We got some food. We're no longer starving. We're not going to be starving for another day. That's good. Any day you get to when you're not starving is good. Emphis seems like he has a story. That's kind of cool. So there's Emphis' stall. I wish that the interface didn't block the text. Find a doctor. That's something I want to do. Let's do that. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. It's probably the wrong voice. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you're here, you aren't so sure. So we got access to this because we completed the, get information thing. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve, but your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body, will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Let's look at the enforcer. The enforcer is looking down the corridor, and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops, subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers you aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth, as if to speak, they blink, and then quickly regain their composure. "Please, sit." They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. So, everyone looks at me like I'm, a lost cause, right? The player character here is, a tragedy unfolding. Emphis... Dragos wants to help you. Emphis, wants to hear your stories because he's interested and he's a people person because he's in the hospitality industry. And Sabine knows that she'll ultimately fail to help you survive, so she's, sad, is the way that I read this. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask, the scanner still to their eye. "A few cycles." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. S&ARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which S&ARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says. You are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else.
Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. And SNARP has no reason to release Stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help, they sigh. And you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive. But I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. I like that writing there. The idea that Sabine is this person who's very guarded. This is a person who has this like poncho on that is so deep within this like criminal syndicate, this like Yatagan that she's a part of, that she has compassion for the people struggling on this space station, but she's like apart from them. So when you look up from the market to the room that they're in, it's like they're in a different place. Their hands are tied. They're using this like sort of cinematic like shot framing thing, and they're using like the layout of this area that you're seeing Sabine in to tell you something, one, about the setting of this game, and two, about the emotional reality that Sabine is going through. She wants to do more for people, they want to do more for people, but they're not able to really do it. So I have to wait for Sabine to acquire the stabilizer. I have to wait 3 cycles to do that. This game, in just a few strokes, is like really grabbing me and really pulling me in. I don't know how exciting it is to watch this stream. I hope that like I'm voicing things in a way that's like interesting or you know, entertaining or compelling or whatever. But I think that there are a lot of things about the way that this world has been set up that I find really appealing. I like the fact that evil in this setting is being done by these faceless organizations. You've got the SNARP conglomerate. You've got the Yatagan, this criminal syndicate. And each individual that you meet is like seems to be a person who is trying to do their best with in the position in society that they're stuck in. And I think that fits well with the way that this game is doing this like systematized storytelling. This is a setting in which the march of time draws things to some end. In the case of Dragos, he's going to get killed probably by the Yatagan, right? It's probably the same criminal syndicate. In the case of this wet dock, it's that merchants are going to come back. In the case of this dock, it's that scrap from salvage is going to come back. In the case of Sabine, it's that she's doing something for you. She's trying to find stabilizer for you. And that's it.
And I think that, like, in terms of using like simple systems to like indicate the ongoing lives of people within a setting that you are only a small part of, I think it's like a really good match between storytelling style and gameplay mechanics. Decision paralysis. Yeah, it feels like this game is meant to make you feel like like powerless. This is a story of somebody whose body is about to fall apart in a world where nobody believes in them. This is a game about being alone, it feels like. Which I think is then interesting that the characters are also compassionate, right? Like a game about being alone could be a game about like, or a story about being alone could be a story that's like ultimately about like how shitty everybody is, how everybody is like mean to you all the time. But it's not the people that are mean in this game, it's the systems. At least so far. I really want to help out Dragos because Dragos is a cool guy and he helped me out. So, I'd like to. Okay, so if I drag this here, that's risky. That's 50% positive, 50% neutral. But if I take 5s and put them here in this, because I'm good at indoor, I can get a 100% positive. So I'm going to do that to help Dragos out. I've got a double plus to back in business, and I've got a plus to cryo. This is maybe a foolish use of my good actions, but yeah, it might be. Let's see what else I can do with these actions. Rotunda, the old dock terminal. Oh gosh. I can steal dock plans, or I can explore the rotunda. I'm bad at Intuit, so that's not a great place for me to go. Next time I get a 6, maybe I'll steal some dock plans. The rotunda wetlock, that's just where I'm waiting. That's just like a cycle counter. Ord exchange, the hardware exchange. I've got some actions here. I can input scrap components. I don't think I have those. Or I can play the exchange. So this is like stock market stuff. Emphasis stall. Is there a way for me to talk to him? I need to pay cryo. Do I have how much cryo do I have? Data, items. I have 50 cryo. Let's buy some cryo from Emphas. Or buy some fungus from cryo. From whatever. There are a lot of nouns. Okay. I did that. He likes me. Let's leave. So that doesn't take dice to do. That just takes money. This does take dice to do. I don't want to do that. Shipyard. Is there anything I can do at the shipyard? I can haul materials to increase my chance of being a yard hand. So, do I want to diversify what it is that I'm doing here, or do I want to do something? I feel as though if I have a +1 in a door and I have a 5 on the die, using my +1 to push that to a 6 on a dangerous action is an efficient tactical use of actions. So let's do that. So I get a plus to energy. Fantastic. I'm full up. Fantastic. So I'm all done with my day. I'm out of my stupid dice. And I'm gonna go to sleep. Two energy down. Here in the container. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring through these forms, then leap off into the void. Do I focus on threads or on the nodes? I see.
I'll focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid, or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then, that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. So that could be one of those two docks, maybe. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. So this is like a dream sequence, guiding a player character, guiding a player to do the right thing. I've never heard of that before. Never would that happen in a game that I would run. Oh boy, so that's a new clock, hunted. That sucks. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. I can use dice and items to extract systems and extract data, but be careful, these networks are old and strange. Use the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. So I can look at... Oh boy, this game. So I can hack the planet. Okay. Sure. I can match... Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the Eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. If you have a +1 or +2 modifier in the interface skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. Okay, cool. So I have to match that output. But I can't do that. So, goodbye. I have key node 0831. I have to match that. Can't do that. I have key Heavenage agent. I have to match that. Can't do that. I have the Solheim cipher. Haven't gotten that yet. Of course, I have the keynote 4693. I have to match a 3. Let's do it, baby. Bypass. Extract data. Hey, I just got an encrypted key. What do I do with that? Don't know. Alright, see ya. This is just like real life, right? You know how sometimes you're trying to like match a node or whatever? Yeah, you get it. There's the Yatagan agent. I have to get a 1. I don't have it. Well, this is insane, and I have no idea what the point of this is. So I have what? I have an encrypted key. Just a typical Monday. Cracking the Yatagan agent and matching nodes. What the fuck am I doing? What is this game? What do I do with this encrypted key? What's the point of an encrypted key without an encrypted lock? Do you get what I'm saying? Can I just put that in there? No. No, you idiot. Keynode! I also like, because this map is weird and all these things have names that I like, Haven Age agent and Yatagan agent. The gate, and I need a Haven Age. Okay, who knows? Alright, see you later. What a nightmare. Okay, I got a 6. There's something I wanted to do with the 6. There was a dangerous thing here to steal dock plans. So, let's do that.
So I completed Dock Watcher. You walk into the security office on a shift change and walk out moments later with the plans. So because I did that, I probably get more nodes on this freaking map. Like Ankita, the stranded mercenary, who's another character. Let's meet some new people. Hey you, wanna earn a chit? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Sure. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place? She asks, as she lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Don't try anything, all right? She taps the butt of her sidearm. I don't want to have to put anyone else down today. Anyone else? She shrugs. What can I say? My temper's a little short lately. Meeting people is nice, I agree. Ankita hoists 1 bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn that shit. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way. And she sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. What's all this for? Oh, this? She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another of her looks. It's for the ambergris. Ambergris? How do we feel about the pronunciation of ambergris? The what is it? Whale vomit? Do we think it's ambergris or ambergris? Any opinions on that? Ambergris. Okay, we're going ambergris. Very good. It's for the ambergris, that cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mind, so now she's gone dark. She sifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm short 1 ship mind with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So, yeah, it's been a time. Anything I can do to help? I don't know. Got a ship mind tucked away on that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she's serious. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the 2nd bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergriss's outer lock, then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Ankita throws you a couple of chits. Consider it a bonus for not trying to grift me. Hey, so if I'd asked for 2, maybe I wouldn't have gotten that little bonus. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. All right, get out of here. She calls back and the lock slams shut. So we got a new drive. And that drive is, of course, to fix the ambergris, which I need to do by getting a ship mind, which I can do by getting access to the ore fabricator. A lot of things happening right now. A lot of confusing things going on right now. There's the Overlook bar. So I can buy some rations, which will probably give me some energy. I can get a drink, and I can do all of these things to become an Overlook regular, which will probably get me something. So yeah, there's like a lot of room for expression in this game's systems, right? Like, every action I take gets me closer to doing something. The thing that I need to be careful of is making sure that I'm completing time-sensitive somethings, such as fulfilling my energy or taking care of Dragos's debt. I need to make sure that I do those things before something bad happens. So There's something at my home. This hunted. I don't have any way of doing a positive outcome here, so this seems like a sort of like set in stone story thing. Like the next beat of this story is going to be in 8 cycles once the person who's hunting me comes here and murders me or, you know, makes love to me or whatever it is that they're... I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So what do you say we take care of our friend Dragos here? We've got this 3, which is it's a little bit of a tweener. Let's start the action. Let's see what happens if we manually salvage things. Positive outcome. Fantastic. I got some cryo. That's all good. Let's take that cryo to emphasis stall and let's buy some fungus and fill up some energy. So I got, more energy than I needed. That was an inefficient use of my money. So we'll keep that in mind. And guess what, baby? I'm out of actions. Next time I have a 5. Let's make sure to go to haul materials. Hey, time to go to sleep and to have a weird dream about threads and nodes and stuff. Let's go! I did the wrong button. And then I clicked the wrong button again. Okay, let's try that again. Let's go! Alright, so I said 5. As I close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Turn. I think that I should trust people. Like, I'm going to play as a relatively trustworthy person. So far, this game is telling me that people are good and systems are bad. So, like, I'm not going to run away from people. Fang is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks down the passage. What was it old Erland said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Erland? You pass together into the main walkway. No one has told you about Erland? He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears his name. Havenage should organize some seminars. He laughs. Not really my department, though. I'm with systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keeps it spinning somehow. At least we try to. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look. That's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around, and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then, when you're settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. So, we got this 5. I wanted to hang out at the shipyard for said 5. And we can do this dangerous endurance action with a 100% positive outcome. I get an energy, I get increase on that clock, and that's all gravy, baby. So I've got these 6s. 6s are tough to come by. Nothing I can do there. Oh, I can do stuff with the Ankita. This is locked. I need a skill upgrade. I see. I need to have an interface +1. Do I have any dang upgrade points? No. No, you idiot. Why would you have upgrade points? Sealed dock. I need data. Do I have... I have that data. Yeah, I scanned that data a long time ago. I knew that's why I was doing that. Okay. So I'm closer to unsealing the lock and further away from having a key. So let's check out the data. I got 6s. Sorry, I mean, let's check out the eye. I have 6s. I don't believe 6s are helpful for me on this. That's the thing that needs data. I guess that's what circles are. Circles need data. Diamonds require data. Or diamonds require dice. Triangles require dice. Triangles require dice. Okay. I got nothing. My dice are too good. I rolled too well. Word exchange. Okay. So I got these 6s. I can play this exchange with a -1. Let's try it out. Neutral outcome. Okay, well, screw you. This guy's going to take a little time to die. And I want to do that with a crummier die, so to speak. So let's not do that. This +1... I just, like, want to do something I'm kind of bad at with this 6 that I've rolled. This all requires cryo. And I care less about becoming a regular of the Overlook Bar than I do about becoming friends with Memphis. I'm all full up on energy, though, so who cares? I'm sorry that I'm, like, checking these things over and over again. It's a little difficult to remember from, you know, these various proper nouns and all this other bullshit. Okay, so I don't have a great option with my 6. I don't have, like, a best tactical thing to do. So I sort of feel as though doing this dangerous material hauling is probably the best I can do. Alright, more energy, more yard hand. Almost all the way to being a yard hand. And let's end this cycle. Alright. 2 energy down, terrible rolls. Time to hack in to the Gibson. Let's go. Ooh. Fang. This icon suggests that this guy wants me to blow everything up. That seems bad. Let's not do that. Hey, so first off, let's use this medium good die to help our bud Dragos out. I'm guessing a negative outcome will advance the debt clock, but let's see what happens. Positive outcome. Cryo back in business. Alright. So, because of that, does anything happen because of that? Dragos. I can just go to Dragos. Alright, cool. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Dragos stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. What is it? Dragos laughs. That, my friend, is A-grade scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up. And now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. Okay, so let's say what happened. What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern. He shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos's vision. Have we ever used calving as a noun before? Is that a phrase? Is that a word that anybody has ever heard before? How's the music? Is it too loud? I'm feeling like it's a little spicy right now. Just turn it down slightly. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. I know it's a word. Is it a word that a person has ever used, is my question. For cows and icebergs, yes. Fair enough. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of the S&ARP freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse, ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winter Light is what it says. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Alright, I got a new drive. I've completed my first drive! Each drive unlocks an upgrade point. Okay, cool. Access your character menu to upgrade a thing. So what did I complete? I repaid Dragos. Okay, cool. There was one of these doohickeys that was... Okay, never mind. We're gonna talk to Sabine instead. The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods to you. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with the case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how yet again they trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains which act as the passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all its own organs. Passcodes? In very basic terms, yes, they sigh. Look, what matters here is that the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least, if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. I don't have a choice. I think you're right. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe, and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater,
prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? Yes. The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine? Nothing comes for free, Sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Okay. So she wants, I can buy a stabilizer for 100 doodads. My health is now filled up. That's cool. And I've got these upgrades. The thing I was trying to figure out was, what was the thing that I can only access with an upgrade? One of these actions was blocked off to anybody without an upgrade. Sealed dock? No. That thing wants data. That's fine. I'm going to go get some data. Ugh, dude, I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much stuff. And these icons are so abstract. It's like, should I go check out this triangle with another triangle? That's the shipyard? Or should I go to this backwards triangle? Do you get what I'm saying? Let's trigger more narrative. Sleeper. Fang catches your attention as you approach the Havenage building. Leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fang inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There is a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Fang Ling leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? What is all this? He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from this sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are built from the original station. What's that letter called? What's the name of that thing? The thing that Grimes named her child, the AI, the AE deal. What's that letter called? It's called... What's it called? Nobody knows. What is the name of AE letter? What is the name of AE letter, Google? It was called the ASC, or ash tree. So I'm going to call that ash tree. That's what I'm calling this. Some of these systems are built from the original station, Ash Tree 1, the one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they are seeing a concrete reality. But this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We're keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run, though. No, it isn't. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay. Secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Havenage, there's old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in! More gameplay systems! Fang pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, missing comma, Sleeper. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate, and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper. And I'll see you soon. You step, blinking, back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. New drive discovered. Let's extract the past. Okay, so we've got like only the shittiest of dice to work with now. And oh, there we go. It's the ambergris needs an upgrade to interface. I think that seems like a reasonable thing to want to upgrade, right? So if I spend this upgrade point, if I spend the upgrade point, I get to upgrade one of my things and give myself a +1. If I hold on to the upgrade point, I can get these bonus doohickeys. Right? I can get these perks, basically. And then a third point, or maybe 3 more points. You get what I'm saying. Okay, here we go. I'm going to upgrade interface. It gives me a chance to gain cryo on interface actions. That's cool. Oh, but that was not enough to get me that. Did I click the wrong thing? I don't think so. I think first I need to get that with 1 upgrade point, then I can get that. So I don't have a bonus to the skill yet. I only get a bonus to the skill upon spending a second upgrade point, it looks like. And because I don't have the bonus to the skill, I can't use it on that action yet. So that sucks. Let's go hacking, shall we? Let's hack. There's this Havenage agent. It wants a 2. You just got hacked. Beep boop. I extracted the data. I've got some Havenage data, and I've got a Solheim cipher. Oh gosh, here I am in the cloud. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver, its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear.
You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Which one is it, baby? A shark or a wolf? Pick your predator, guys.
Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing.
Stay still. I got a dog with a bunch of noodles coming out of his head. That's cool.
Please hold.
The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on.
Entity, identify, origin, serial, cadence.
The figure faces you expectantly. Serial, SNR, or sleep, whatever, you get it.
Unknown, known.
The figure's strange head rotates.
Brackish signature, of and not of. Attempting interface.
As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop! The figure halts its threads, its eye twitching.
Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience?
I'm a person.
Incorrect. You are an entity.
All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision.
You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock.
Hunter shimmers with fury.
I will find access. I will interface.
I don't understand.
An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet.
Hunter extends a razor-edged thread.
I will not be diverted from my task.
It glows with murderous intent. Yeah, let's punch this dog, or whatever. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing. A spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. What? What am I doing? Okay, so I've got Havenage data and a Solheim cipher. So I can put the Solheim cipher in here, and I can start this. So I got one gate S7 access and one less Solheim cipher. What's the Hunter doing? Hunter's still at nothing. So I've got Havenage data, so I need to find a Havenage agent. Is that what I want? No. That's how I got the data. Havenage gate. I want to give that a Havenage data. But I don't need... I need a Havenage cipher, not a Havenage data. Oh, boy. There's a lot going on here. I've got this one, which I'm guessing every time I hack something, it's going to get the Hunter one step closer to me. I believe one of these wanted a 1. Yeah. This, what is this? This key node. So let's do that and see if that sends the Hunter after me. Let's bypass it. Let's extract some data. Hey, check it out. I got another encrypted key. Is the Hunter one step closer? Yes. Okay. Got it. Okay, so I just got access to the Fang's Bay? No. What did I just unlock? I got H7, access fucking data or something? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so confused. What did I get? Like, what did I just get? Is there a way for me to see my inventory? Yes, maybe. Data? Was it at the bar? No. I got, what resource did I get? Is it useful at the Ord Exchange?
Did I unlock more nodes? I don't know. Maybe I did. What a nightmare. What? Okay, tell you what. I'm going to stop being a node guy, and I'm going to go to sleep. Yeah. Let's see what clocks do I have coming up soon? Isn't there oh, I see. So that scrapyard clock went off. What does the ambergris want? It wants hull repairs. Okay, well, whatever. I'm a citizen sleeper. It's time for me to do my duty as a citizen and go to sleep. I gotta tell you, that hunter thing was like a level of complexity beyond what I wanted to. Holy smokes, look. Oh, I see. So there's this health meter up here, up at the top of the screen. And as that goes down, I get fewer dice. So I'm guessing if I lose 1, 2, 3 more dice, then I'll just get, or more pips of my health, then I'll have 4. I can replenish that by going to Sabine and paying her 100 cryo in order to extend my life a little bit. So in addition to the cycles, which are how I use dice, there's this clock that is health, which gets me more dice. And then there's this energy clock that if I don't feed it, makes it so that I lose health and therefore dice faster. So I'm low on energy now. So let's go to emphasis stall and let's buy some mushrooms. Since I believe that'll get me 3. Yes. So, Fungus Fan, forging my relationship with Emphas, the Fungus Man, the Mushroom Man. And now I got some good D's to work with. I got a 5 of 4. So that 5... I'm not sure. I think now it's about time for me to focus on specific clocks. Yeah, Lars and mushrooms. You know, I'll tell you, this setting of this, like, space station, with all these corrupt systems on it and, like, no food and, like, everybody just, like, doing their individual jobs to keep this, like, plate spinning, that's a context in which mushrooms, like, gross me out much less because I imagine there's no better food here. Do you get what I mean? Oh, I could have used Solheim data to sell it to, the fucking Mr. Fang over here. Maybe the first thing I want to do, since it's the most confusing part of the game, is hit the eye and see if I can steal some Solheim data with my 1. My drives, I've got a bunch of them. Got to build a ship mine by getting access to the Ord Fabricator. Got to disable my tracker, which I can do by helping Fang. I got to extract the past, which I can do by helping Fang. I got to fix the ambergris. I got to get to know Emphas, which I'm doing. And I have to study the winter light. So, okay, so that's like kind of a question what that is. I'm guessing... Get out of here. I'm guessing that's Dragos' thing. So Dragos has this drop-dead clock. It's not Dragos' thing. But Dragos wants me to take care of him or he's like going to get killed eventually. So I'm a little unclear about what it means to study the winter light. I also don't know what this toggle tracking button does. I see. So that'll put a dot on winter light. I see. So the problem here is that I'm bad at Intuit, and I will forever be bad at Intuit. I can't upgrade that skill ever. I don't know if
I don't know if doing this cutter salvage... No, it's not. I have to do this. So this is going to be what my high dice go to for a while. I'm not sure I'm going to use this 5 on it. I might use a 6 on it. I don't like that a 5 becomes a 4. So we're going to go back into the old whatever it is and see if we can hack some Solheim stuff with my 1. I can, so I'm going to. It's going to get the hunter one step closer to me. Let's extract some data. Great. I got some hunter stuff, or I got some Solheim stuff. Now the hunter's one step closer. So helping out Fang seems to be like an important part of what it is that I want to do. So let's help Fang out by giving him some Solheim data. Great. Got some cryo, got some scoping the systems. That's all good. These tweeners are real tough to know what to do with. I kind of feel like that 3 should go to something safe. This 5 could go to haul materials, get me closer to being a yard hand. Let's just do that. We've almost finished that up. Let's just do that. Cool. Yard hand up, energy up. Full up on energy, and I'm now a yard hand. What does that get me? I can meet Lem and Mina. I'm interested to hear what you guys think of this game. I'm struck by it. It's definitely like a weird feeling to see how successfully all of these interlocking systems work at getting me invested in like participating in this game. You know, like the plates that I'm spinning are just complex enough that I'm interested in spinning them well, and doing that is drawing me further and further into this narrative. I'm really enjoying it a lot, actually. I think this might be my favorite thing that we've done for video game streaming so far. I'm into it. From the walkway, the sidereal horizon looks impossibly vast, a landscape of plating and frames. All along her flanks, torches flicker, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale of industry is both stunning and strangely unsettling. She's quite beautiful, I think. You turn to see a figure a little way down the walkway, leaning at the railing. He is thin, ragged, his work gear poorly fitting and loose. The torches of the sidereal horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. Lem. He leans back from the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out at the ship. And this is Mina, he adds with a smile. I'm going to talk to him instead of to his child. I'm not a weirdo. Hi, Lem. Hi. He replies plainly, then shifts a little closer down the rail. Mina stares and tucks herself behind Lem, who dutifully picks her up. Mina looks out from Lem's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You working on her, then? Lem asks eagerly, gesturing to the vast ship. Or just admiring? He shifts Mina's weight to his other arm. Neither. Well, he looks thoughtful of you. You should consider it. Isn't that right, Mina? He jostles her a little. She's Mina's and my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to speak. How? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes a Havenage contract in the Sidereal Horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. He smiles. We won't get to sleep the journey, though, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina if it means landfall in a new world. He winks. Transit support? Uh-huh. Someone needs to stay awake to keep the thing running. He straightens up, stretching his back. That's a colony ship, friend. The Sealess Foundation is sending thousands to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. Sealess Foundation? They are Havenage's client, yeah, some wealthy project from the core systems, interested in independence and self-sufficiency and all that. They hired the whole shipyard out, helped wreck it and everything. He strokes Mina's hair. Someone else's dream, I suppose, but doesn't mean people like me and Mina can't tag along. Mina responds by pushing his hand away.
Daddy, she whispers. Food. Oh my God. Pulling an exaggerated grumpy face, she glances furtively at you as she plays with a set of dog tags that hang from Lem's neck. I'm just chatting a little, Meanie. Give Daddy a sec. He turns back to you and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Havenage crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. I'll say, yeah, maybe. I gotta do a new voice for this guy. The part of my throat that I'm hitting with this guy's voice is hurting me, so I need to stop. He looks out at the sidereal horizon as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hall. We gotta hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he is talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eye curiously. I'm not talking to the kid. You hold her gaze and a smile creeps along across her face, her features lighting up like a city coming awake at night. Then suddenly she tucks back into Lem's chest. Lem smiles and lifts Mina. That's it. We hold on. He smiles sheepishly at you. We're just a couple of softies, isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns and they walk down the walkway, away from the shipyard. You see them talking, and then a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot! Her shout echoes down the hallway, and she flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lem. You watch them a little before you turn back to the impossible scale of the sidereal horizon. A ticket out. So, that guy's an idiot, right? Like, that guy's like, hey, it's gonna be a great job, and I'm gonna, go for it. It's like anything that the value system of this game has taught us. It's like, people are good. Relying on the people around you is good. Building community is good. Relying on some unknowable initiative from the home world so that you can get something out of it with the idea that you won't be exploited to it, to death by it. That's, I think, not a story that is going to end well for him if he continues believing in that thing. That's how I'm reading the values that this game is putting forward. Okay, so this guy wants Yatagan data and wants ship mine fragments. Okay, unit assembly, is that new? These are safe actions. So, I guess quality control, that's like a negative clock. So when I fail these safe actions, I eventually get fired. So I probably want to fill up either the interface clock or the engineer clock before filling up the quality control clock. So I'm investing in interface. So I've got to complete another drive, and once I do that, I'll start working on that project. But because it's just a negative plot or a negative clock, I don't need to spend time on that immediately. This, I'm being hunted. Sir, you are being hunted. Leave. So Dragos has this thing that I'm bad at, and then has this dangerous deal. What's the outcome for this 4? 25 positive, 50 negative, 25 negative. Okay, so eventually I'm going to need to take some risks, I believe. The ambergris, this is risky. So there's a negative clock here. So every time I ruin one of these checks, I get the ambergris closer to not being able to move again. So these 4s and 3s are really hard to spend. Oh, I got this data. I can use that to unlock this maglock. Cool. So that should open something new, right?
And it says new. Sure. Here we are at Neovent 33. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. Let's approach the machine. As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape, settled into an alcove in the side of the dock. A kind of upright cabinet, it is covered in faded logos and messages, from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor, intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. The manufacturer is listed as Neovend, and you remember an advert, ooh, is this a British game? From long ago, squeezed among all the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chirpily sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. So what are we doing here? This is like this person is having a memory of their past life before they became a sleeper. And we're also doing a critique of like mining business, where like mining towns would need to use company script to like buy stuff. So it's another layer of criticism of capitalism, right? That's kind of what we're doing, probably. Enter your registration, chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. Let's press some keys. You reach for the keypad and something begins whirring. At first it sounds like servo motors starting up, but it quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, then a multitonal voice that emanates from Neovend. Entity, they hiss. Speak with me. Who's there? There is a squeal, almost like some strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath before the machine speaks again. I have need of you. You have need of me. That squeal comes again. I think I'm doing the wrong voice here. And you see that it is the 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine resetting into place so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce that whirring, whining voice. You are in danger. Danger? The machine creaks. You are marked for deletion, entity. Hunter tracks you. The screech rattles through the empty dock. You remember the strange head, the figure, the threads closing in. Hunter. The Hunter Protocol. They taste your signature. The sudden whine sets your teeth on edge. You have seen them. This is the gift of an emulated mind. You close your eyes and the skeleton of the station starts to thrum. Emulated minds are adaptable. Move where neurons cannot. The mechanism resets. But emulation makes you a target. How? Hunter searches for illegal entities, Neovend screeches. You are sentient, therefore illegal. The servos judder the vending machine's casing as they reset. Hunter searches for me also. Hide in this machine. You look at the ruined vending machine, an unusual hiding place for sure. How are we feeling about this music, guys? I think this music is cool. To choose to set this like nostalgic major key, delay heavy, romantic, like that synthly, it's a very human sound, a much more human sound than we've gotten in the soundtrack so far. To forge connection between us and this vending machine of all things. OBS says it is disconnected. That's mega annoying. All right, let's continue. Can counter Hunter, but need entity outside of machine. Yeah, the stream just dropped for a second. I got a notice on OBS that the thing dropped. Am I back now? Okay, great. Annoying. The Hunter found me. But you know what? This stream is just about over, so let's get through this Neovend conversation. And then I have to leave this game for a week. Can you imagine me trying to come back and remember what on earth I am doing a week from now? Oh my goodness. Okay. The light flickers. Need you. A screen attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. It displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly, threaded. The cloud. Points along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering. Too much data. Must build nests, explains Neovend. Masters are gone, but continues hunt. Brings this data, raids its nests. Why can't you? Hunter will find me, then killer will come. The machine trembles with effort. I cannot leave machine. Connections must remain closed. Bring offerings, save self, Neovend says pointedly. Mutual need means friends, they conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies, then suddenly drops as mechanisms within the machine click back into place. The glow fades, and you are left stood in the dark of the sealed dock. That whirring voice ringing in your ears. You are left stood is another weird Britishism to me. All right. So we got a new drive. Look at all these damn drives we've got. We've got to build a ship mind by gaining access to the Ort Fabricator. Don't know how to do that. We've got to disable our tracker by getting Solheim stuff for Fang. We've got to extract the past, again, by doing that thing for Fang. We're going to fix the ambergris. We're going to free Neovend. Let's take a look at Neovend and see what Neovend's whole deal is here. What is this? I don't know. I don't like the way that my interface covers the text telling me what I'm looking at. Because I'm gonna have my drives open. Okay, so let's toggle tracking on free Neovend so we can see where that is. That's here. Sealed dock. So there's Neovend. Neovend wants data. Do you want any data? Is this data okay? No. The icon has to match. Okay. So, okay, cool. So that will help reduce this hunter meter. Wowzers. Well, let's, why don't you say we wrap this stream up? Or should we finish the day? No, I don't want to finish the day. Too many difficult decisions to make. We're gonna wrap up the stream. Hi, it's me. I'm still here. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out and thanks for watching. I'm really excited about this game. It seems like it's a game that's meant to overwhelm you. You're meant to feel completely like it's asking more of you than you're able to do, which is a style of game design that I love. I love playing board games where it's on every turn you have 2 actions and you want to do 3 things. I think that's a really great place for a game design to be, and I'm really excited to spend more time with this game doing that. This Saturday would typically be an Inscription stream with Armet. We finished Inscription last week, so we're all done with that. And Armet is also not available, so I may be doing some weekend Citizen Sleeper streaming. So maybe on Saturday I'll be back at 2 p.m. with more Citizen Sleeper. I don't know how easy it's going to be to jump back into this thing. It's kind of overwhelming, but I am having a great time with it. I think the music is fabulous. I think the writing is really cool. I think that the characterization is really beautifully done. There's a lot of sympathy that this game has for all of its different characters, which is a great place to be in a game that's systems driven and you only get to pick a few of the characters, I'm guessing, to really spend time with and really support. Unless you're aiming for the perfect playthrough, which is not going to happen for this game unless it's a very easy game, which it doesn't seem like it is. So I'm pumped. If you had a good time watching the stream, please give us a follow on Twitch. You can click the follow button or whatever on Twitch, and that's really all I have to do. our march towards 50 followers continues, and I hope that we can maybe get that done soon. I don't know. It's a little tricky. Also, if you like this game and if you liked watching me play it, I host a podcast that is a tabletop role-playing game actual play podcast called Tabletop Gold. And if you like this kind of game, if you like dice, if you like systems, if you like all that kind of thing, and you like story, our show is probably going to be something that you enjoy. So you can find that on your podcast app of choice. That's it for me. I'm going to go away. I'm done streaming. It's time for me to go to bed and figure out, what I'm going to do tomorrow. And I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a good, I hope everything's going okay for you. And I will see you again next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.